Welcome back to another episode of JRCTV. Today we're talking about the number one most important factor that can literally keep us alive as a small baby, that can reconnect us in the moments that we feel disconnected or slightly not together with a spouse. It's something that can calm us after travel or any time that our let's say cortisol or nerves or stress is high. It can immediately bring that stress down and connect us back to the deepest, most connected part of ourselves. And what we're talking about today is oxytocin, or human touch. There's something called failure to thrive syndrome, which is if you have a small baby and it is not connected to, it is not held within so long, literally, it can actually die as an infant, which is ridiculous and crazy. Not only is failure to thrive syndrome in a very small baby, but it's something that many times it's been said when we travel, it spikes cortisol levels, which spikes chemical stress inside of our body, makes us tense, kicks us back into that fight or flight mode as far as a human brain is concerned, which means we either attack the ones we love or we run away from the conversation and moment. And what's wild and interesting in that is instead of fighting or flighting, instead of freaking out and running away of the distraction of the craziness, what's very interesting and what you can do immediately in that moment, they say after long travel time, the first thing you're going to want to do is embrace another person, human touch, connect with them, hug them, because in that moment what starts to happen is literally you release massive amounts of oxytocin into your mind, your body, in your blood, and what that does is immediately lowers the cortisol levels and brings your stress down to allow you to reconnect with the logical part of your brain instead of getting caught up in the crazy fight or flight moments. So number one, as babies, we need that touch. Number two, when we're traveling a lot or in high stress situations, you want lots of human touch and connection to bring down those stress levels. And number three, in a relationship, this is probably one of the most important ones that I found, is if in a moment you figure out that your partner, your spouse, your lover has hit a moment where they're tense, they're caught off guard, their mind is going everywhere in all directions all at once, and you want to help ground them, to bring them back to this very moment and become present, one thing you can do is just reach out and touch them. And all of a sudden in that moment, your human touch, if you have a man reaching to a woman, will become the loudest thing in her world. Meaning, we're biologically made that when you reach out and touch another person, specifically a woman, what it will cause is her entire nervous system, her entire world, thoughts, emotions, feelings, everything going on, to immediately come to that one thing that's touching her. The rest of the world will become silent for just a moment, about 30 seconds, for her to connect, figure out what is it that's touching her, is it safe or not, and give her all her attention all at once in that very moment for about 30 seconds. So, gentlemen, if you have something very important you want to share with the person you love, one thing you might want to do is first reach out and touch their hand, connect with them physically, and then share what it is that you'd like to share with them. Because in that sharing, they'll now be able to hear it, because everything else in their world will become silent so they can truly connect with what it is you want to share with them. So 3 areas oxytocin is critical. Number one, failure to thrive. An infant, holding your small ones. If you find that a baby is stressed or tense or crying a lot, holding them, cuddling them, snuggling them allows that oxytocin to release, which allows them to reconnect and reground and feel comforted and loved and rebalance their stress. Number two, we talked about travel or high stress situations. That's including work, travel, adventure, anything where your stress and cortisol levels spike up. In that moment, connecting with another person, embracing them to allow that oxytocin to then come back into your system and resettle you and connect you. And finally, we talked about relationships. If you have something very important you want to share with your lover, first hold them, and in holding them and connecting with them, then share it so it becomes the loudest thing in that world in the moment. I hope you use these tools and these thoughts in your life, in your business, in your health, in your relationships, and really do some magic with them. If you want, grab a copy of this week's download. We go over these 3 areas you can use it. We also give you a couple other tips on a different hormone or neurotransmitter that can also show you how to get the maximum performance out of your mind, body, and emotion. So grab that download, have some fun with it, go use this, and I look forward to seeing you next week for another episode of JRCTV. Till then, have an amazing week.
Please subscribe for awesome videos each and every week.